This is a video about mental health. If you do not want to talk or hear about my mental health, this video is not for you.
I'd rather keep it real with ya.
So, wants to give y'all some updates on how I've been doing. First of all, thank you guys who tuned in and watched the Discord discussions. However long you made it through the video, because I know it was a long video, um, or rather a long recording. But I really appreciate everybody who listened in and because I just feel like we have some really good discussions in Discord, some good Discord discussions. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I definitely want to do more of them, but when I tell you the editing process destroyed me, um, because I did not have a software strong enough to handle editing something that size, um, and to handle editing something that was audio only. So the software that I have is a basic free software that does not separate video from audio. So I could not just upload audio and then mess around with it from there. And then the software that I did have that separates video and audio would not load something that long for me to even be able to put like a cool visual on the background or anything like that. It wouldn't, it just wasn't working. Um, just to get the video to the point that you saw it, it took me over 10 hours, maybe even longer than that if you count the night before, of just trying to export it, trying to first of all I had to download the audio into a format that was acceptable for any of the softwares I used. Because YouTube was like, no, we won't take any of these formats that you spent all this time downloading. My editor, the other editors were like, not this format, not that format, maybe this format. So I spent a lot of time downloading it in different formats. Then when I got around to actually trying to put it into the system, that was freezing, there was, issues with saving, the backups didn't work. Um, the exporting would go on for hours and then it would crash like at the last second. So it was very, very frustrating. And I did not like the fact that it took up an entire day for me to just export it to get it into something that can be sent to you guys. So it was very, very frustrating. It took a lot of effort, and that's why the next week I was just like, "Please just watch it again." But here's the chapters. Please watch it again. Um, if I look tired, it's because I am. Seasons changing, allergies acting up. My cat allergies are a lot better, but I'm allergic to everything else, so that's all hitting me at the same time. And I've been like really, really stressed lately, so I haven't been sleeping that well. So probably after I finish this, I'm gonna go to the store and buy some sleep aids to help me out. Like even my weighted blanket's not helping, but for those who want an update on the work situation, the manager situation. Oh, you can see my little cat back there. The manager situation. I do have several videos that have been recorded that need to be edited and uploaded. The video that you guys last saw um took place like a month or so ago. So obviously I've made several videos in between that, and I have to watch the video in order to edit the video. And watching that video as I edited it made me very sad because it really helped me like see just the toll that all of this has been taking on me. And that was very upsetting. It was very upsetting to look at myself because, like, before I started doing these videos, like, I didn't look at myself. You know what I mean? I didn't see myself from like that outside perspective that others might see. It felt like I don't even know how to describe it. Is very different than just looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? It's like how you never know how you sound until you record yourself and then you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's what I sound like. It's kind of like that with the videos. It's like I look at these videos and I'm like, oh, that's me, because that's not how I see me, but that's me. And sometimes I'll be watching these videos and I'll say something funny and I'll be like, damn, that was funny. I said that. Like that's crazy. Um, So I have those moments, and to watch this video where it seemed like I was at the end of my rope, you know, like I had been beat down so much and bullied and, you know, mistreated, and then like seeing the emotional toll, I was so done. And the thing about it is like I was so done at that point that I was ready to quit. I was ready to quit. Um and I didn't. And you'll see these videos eventually because I'm not just gonna delete them. Obviously I didn't quit. Obviously I'm still here. Um but just to see how far I've been pushed, to see how much damage this woman had done to me, made me really really upset. And it feels like an injustice, you know, like it's like you're watching this happen to your friend and you're just like, this is awful, I hate this. And it's weird because when it's happening directly to you, some of you are like me, like that, whereas when it's happening directly to you, you're like, oh, this is tolerable, this is fine, I'll keep taking it, I'll keep going. But then when you watch it happen to your friend, you're like, absolutely not. F that. B, blah, 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 blah. You want to pop off, right? And you want to protect them. And so me watching this happen to myself, I wanted to protect me. And so part of protecting me is not looking at those videos for a while. Don't get me wrong, I've been working on this with my therapist and we've been talking about it as it's been going. Um, but it's just different. It's just different watching it happen in real time. And I imagine that this is how you guys feel when you're watching it. Like, I can't take any more of this, Minu. I can't take much more. Like, end it, quit, leave. And I'm just sitting here, like, still going through it. And don't get me wrong, I have no intention of staying. I have no intention of being here long term or anything like that. Very much applying to jobs, looking for other jobs. You know, some people in the Discord have been awesome about, you know, sending me links to jobs at their companies and all of that stuff. So I really, really appreciate you guys for caring about me enough to be like, hey, let me know if you apply to this job. I'll put in a good word for you or I'll be a referral. Like, I never imagined that I could get that kind of love and support from people on the internet. And so that makes me very, very happy. So yeah, I'm not going to be editing and uploading those videos for a while. I'm hoping that once it's all over, I will be able to handle watching it again. Um, but right now, reflecting on it any more than I'm already reflecting on it is it's gonna make me pop off, y'all. It's gonna make me pop off. Um, People in the Discord kind of have an idea that things have been escalating over the past couple months, like getting just you think it can't get any worse and then it gets worse and then it gets worse again and like all that stuff. So it just keeps happening and it keeps getting worse and it keeps every time you think you've reached the ceiling, right? Where like surely this is the worst it can get. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what things been happening to me. Like I've had these moments where I'm like, this is it. This is the breaking point. If X happens, I'm leaving, or you know what I mean, and then I don't leave. Or I'll be like, okay, I'm when this time comes, I'll leave, and then I don't leave. At this point, next week is going to be November. Um, at this point, though, I do feel I want to be fired. I want to be fired. I really do at this point, and it's so funny that it took this long to get me to this point. I really, I honestly, I should have been at this point like 2 months ago. But I feel like I had a lot of trauma from previous jobs. I talked about this in the job. I mean, not job. I talked about this in the video where I talked about. I don't remember what I called it, but I think it was like, why do black people do this to each other? Where I worked at a very, very toxic company that was ran by black women, and I was treated awfully. I was treated very, very poorly. And everyone around me told me to just suck it up and just keep my head down, tuck my tail between my legs, and just let them do whatever they want so that I could keep a job. And I still got fired. You know what I mean? And I didn't defend myself. I didn't stick up for myself. And it became a traumatic experience for me. So to be in a situation where I thought everything was going to go well, go great, and then to be treated like this so poorly, um, especially at the stage that I'm in my healing journey, is very, very intolerable to me. Um, so I am at the point where I'm comfortable with being fired. It really feels like I said this to my therapist, like it feels like I'm like a kid in school and I just got one more week till summer vacation and then I can be free from all this school nonsense. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about being fired now. And now that I feel good about the idea of being fired, because I was terrified about being fired for a long time. And that drove so much of my anxiety because I'm like, if I get fired, I'm the only person who is paying my bills. So what's going to happen to my bills? In the past, when I've lost a job or when a contract has ended and I was in a situation where I didn't have many funds, having to depend on people, not having a place to stay. I don't want to be in that situation anymore. So that drove so much of my anxiety when working and my desire to be the best of employees because I knew that at any point, if I lost my job, that's my rent. That's my car note. That's food. You know what I mean? And so that drove so much of my anxiety. And I've been working very hard ever since I knew my manager was trying to fire me. I've been working very hard about saving my money as aggressively as possible. Um, so I do feel like I'm at a point where you can fire me. You can fire me. Go ahead. I'll actually feel better about myself. I walk away from it, and I won't have to do this song and dance of a 2 week notice. Oh, guys, I'm just bigger and better things, Oh, Mina, where are you going? Oh, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do all that nonsense. Everybody who I want to talk to at my job or who I want to maintain a relationship with, I got their phone numbers because they already know what's up. So if I were to come in next week and my manager be like, "That's it, I'm sick of you, you're out of here," whatever. Okay. I've noticed that even in my conversations with my manager, she's like going in on me, acting crazy as hell, and I'm just like, okay, yep. Which is the behavior that I should have been exhibiting like said 2 months ago, but I wasn't because I was busy trying to fight her because I was like, what you're doing to me isn't okay. So I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna fight you. But now that I'm okay with being fired, I'm just like, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say to me. Oh, Amina, you're this, you're this, you're this. And I'm like, okay, you know, Minu, people think this about you. Okay. Minu, I need you to do this, 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 this because you're like this. Okay. Sure, no problem. And then I get off the call and I do whatever the fuck I want. Like sometimes I don't even be listening to this woman no more. Like I don't even be paying attention. My coworker be like, "Did you hear what she said about that?" No, because just like your ass, I wasn't paying attention, and I don't care to pay attention. I was busy staring at my face on the screen, making sure that I look good, and I did look good. And I was like, I look good in this bitch. Like, and the funny thing is that what my therapist told me, because yes, Edie, why are you looking at me so hard? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, you making biscuits? Thank you. Sadie just climbed on my lap. I don't even remember when she sat on my lap. But my therapist told me two things my therapist told me. Two words of wisdom, especially for those of y'all, because I know some of y'all are going through shitty jobs as well. One of them is you can stick up for yourself and get fired, or you could not stick up for yourself and stay on a little bit longer, but eventually still get fired. Those are your options. But there is no stick up for yourself and not get fired. That's not on the table at this point. When you get to the point that even because everybody at your job could hate you, but if your manager likes you or your manager's manager likes you, your ass gonna stay there. And we've seen it happen. Um, Everybody at your job can like you, but if your manager don't like you, you're going to get fired at some point. They're just plotting how to do it the right way. So there was never going to be a I stick up for myself and keep my job situation. So I had to make a choice for me, not just for me, but for my inner child and my inner teenager. Do I want to stick up for myself? And I saw, and I'll post a video about this at a later date as when I'm ready to continue sharing the saga and everything. When I don't stick up for myself, my inner child throws a fit and my inner teenager yells at me because the fuck are you doing, adult Minu? You're grown now. You should be protecting us. Why didn't you protect us? Why didn't you defend us? And I have those wounds because when I was that age, didn't nobody fucking defend me. Now I'm at the age where I could be taking care of these children inside of me with these wounds and relational traumas, and I didn't because I chose to stay silent, and I'm not choosing that anymore. So I had to come to the fact. I had to be comfortable with the idea of being fired. That's what I had to do, and it took me a while to get to this point. It took me a while to get to the point where I'm okay with you firing me. You can say whatever you want to say about me behind my back because my reputation precedes me. People see the work that I do and they know my name. And I didn't have to chase them out for it. They know my name because of who I am. And no one can take that from me. So you can go around and say all the nasty things you want about me, but at the end of the day, none of that changes who I am and what I do and the passion that I put into the work that I do. The other thing that my therapist said to me was when you're ready to be fired, you can do whatever the hell you want. Hey, baby. Thank you. I love you too, see. Oh, keeping me so sweet because I'm talking about something stressful and difficult. Don't take the mic from me now. Okay, so she said, when you're ready to be fired, you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You can defend yourself in any tone of voice that you want. Because like the whole, oh, I gotta defend myself in the most professional way possible. No. Yes, ma'am. You can get as mean as you want. You can say whatever you want because you're ready to go. And so the people who follow me in Discord know I posted. I was like, hey, pray for me, guys. I'm dropping bombs at work. And I don't even know how it's gonna pan out. It can go any way. It can go any which way. But any way it goes, and I said this to my inner child, I'm gonna be okay. I've saved up enough money to make sure that all my bills and stuff are taken care of. I am applying, interviewing jobs, um, chasing down leads, making connections, reconnecting with people um, in areas where they might, have some connections for me to get a job. But even if I don't get a job, like as soon as I leave or within a month or two or whatever, I have enough money to last me a good while. Because it takes a long time to get a job. We know this. We know this. Um, but no job is worth suffering. It doesn't. I don't care if it's been a year, 2 years. I don't care if it's been a few weeks and you're already miserable because people treat you poorly. It doesn't matter. No job is worth suffering. Um, no job is worth messing up your mental health. No job is worth making you doubt yourself. I feel like part of this is there was so much gaslighting, and you guys see it, right? You've seen it in videos. There's so much gaslighting to the point that I thought, am I like this? is this true about me? Like, am I never gonna survive in a job because XYZ? But those were lies. And it just so happened to feed into like my insecurities and traumas that I had. And once it gets to that point, like you no, no. So yeah, I'm ready to be fired. I'm excited about it. But I hope my manager does it like in this like impulsive way. You know what I mean? Like it's Wednesday at 12:30. Sadie, don't bite me. Sadie. I hope my manager's like, it's Wednesday at 12:30 and she's just like, Minu, you're fired and just like throws it out there at me. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. And that would be right up her alley with how impulsive she is. Um, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. And once it's over, I will start going back through my older videos and posting them so that you guys can like see how everything went up until this point. But just for right now, it's just not in the best mental health because I feel like the more I watch them, the angrier I will get for the me in that time because I know how she felt and I'm like feeling it all over again. And it would just be upsetting and it'll make me want to fight even harder. Like if I watch those videos, I will go into work and be like, manager, get on the call with me right now. Let me tell you something about yourself. Like that's literally how I'm gonna feel. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing all of that right now. Um, but yeah, so I'm ready to go on that. I will say too, know the video is getting a little long for some of y'all who can't stand videos over 15 minutes. But the other thing that I wanted to share was that I've made a lot of progress with my inner child therapy, and we're coming to a close on that group. We've been in a group since February, so it should have ended a while ago, but it didn't. So it's coming to a close, and we went around a room talking about what stage that we felt that we were in. While I am not in the best like stage of like because what I'm supposed to be in the stage of is like reparenting, but I'm just not fully there yet. But I am at a stage where I can recognize my inner child and my inner teenager when they're coming out, which is amazing because I've been so disconnected from my body my entire life. Um, as I guess as a protective measure. So to understand when my inner child is upset, when my inner teenager is upset, is very big. To understand when my inner child is like, I want this or I don't want this, um, is huge. To understand the physical cues of my inner child, where I hate the lighting right now. But the physical cues of my inner child, of where she sits, where the pain from her sits, is in my pelvic floor. My inner child's very much in pelvic floor and a little bit of stomach, but mostly pelvic floor. Um, and which makes a lot of sense considering what my physical therapist has told me, because she told me that my muscles have been tight for 20 years. So, yep, that's inner child. Inner teenager is kind of in my chest. She's the fighter, she's the protector, she's the one who, and I can hear her come out sometimes when she's like, well, I think we should do this, but if you don't care, we don't have to do anything and we can move on with our day. And I'll be like, oh, yep, that's inner teenager being sarcastic, being like, well, if you don't think I deserve it, then I don't deserve it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, inner teen, I see you. I see you're out. Let's. I want you to have a voice, but let's reel it in a little bit, okay? But now I'm like, she could come out. She could come out a little bit more. Um, but the inner teenager protects the inner child, and so when I don't protect the inner child, or when I don't speak up for her or defend her, inner teenager goes full swing. Is like, so well, now I have to do it because you wouldn't. So if you're not going to protect her, adult Minu, then teenager Minu's going to step in and help her out because this some bullshit. Um, and I'm trying my best not to beat up on my inner child as much as I used to. That also comes from trauma and dysfunctional families. If you were treated poorly as a child or you see other children being treated poorly, you do the same thing to your inner child. You beat up on them, you silence them, you gaslight them. You don't actually want that. You know what I mean? You deny them the things that they want because For what reason? Like, I'm an adult. If my inner child wants cheesecake, I can buy some fucking cheesecake. It's not that expensive. But it's like your natural urge to just dismiss your inner child and be like, nope, we're not going to buy that. We have food at home. And but the inner child wanted chicken tenders. You know what I mean? Um, so I've become better at that. I've also started like talking to my inner child. I think that was the biggest thing about the whole being ready to be fired. I spoke to my inner child and I let her know that no matter how it goes or which way it goes, I am going to protect her. I'm going to make sure she is fed and her cats are fed and she has a roof over her head and all her needs are met. Because that is my responsibility as the adult in this three-person relationship, um, is to take care of her and protect her from whatever happens, whether it's being fired or being gaslit or being disrespected or someone yelling at you. You know, I'm going to protect her from that so she doesn't have to, try to protect herself, or that my inner teenager doesn't have to protect her because I will protect her. And I could feel the difference in my body after having that conversation with her. So it's very, very interesting. And I feel like I've done a lot of great work to get to this point, and I'm very proud of myself to be able to get to this point because back when this started, I wouldn't even say back when it started. I would say just 3 months ago, I was still saying, I don't know what my inner child is. I don't know when my inner child is out. I don't know what they even look like. I don't speak to them. They don't speak to me. Like, I don't even know them. Like, that was just 3 months ago. I was still saying that. So it took me from February all the way until almost November to be like, inner child is upset because I ignored her once, or I didn't defend her in this situation. I need to do better to ensure that she is defended and protected and reassured. So I say all of this to say this shit ain't easy. It's hard as hell. Um, those of you who follow me, who hear the updates, those of you who I've been talking to more, giving more updates, like daily updates about stuff that's been going on, or who've been confiding in me about the stuff that they're going through. None of this shit is easy. Not for me, not for anybody. And it takes a long time. And I can be very impatient with myself because I'm like, it's been over 10 years since I've been in therapy. Why am I not better? Well, I wasn't really getting the best therapy until recently anyway. And I've made so much progress, and I need to just take a moment to stop and be like, you are able to listen to your body. You are able to eat the foods that you know make your body feel good versus eating foods that your family ate, so that's what you eat. Understanding the impacts on my body from gluten, from soy, um, from dairy, which really I don't have any impacts from dairy, I don't think, but we'll keep that on the back burner. We're gonna cross our fingers, we're gonna knock on wood on that one. But from egg, like recognizing how I feel after I eat versus just thinking that my stomach is a bottomless pit that I can just shove whatever into. That's a huge change. you know, Buying soft blankets because they feel good. That's a huge change. Um, Trying to decorate, trying to socialize with friends and leaving the house and like talking to strangers. That's a huge change over who I was last year, where it was a struggle. No, even this year, there were times when it was a struggle just to leave the house. You know what I mean? And so I've made so much progress in my mental health journey in different directions. It's wild to me. So though I may not feel like I have the passive aggressive skill trait down where I can deal with people like my manager and work, and they get passive aggressive and I get passive aggressive, and you know saying it without saying it and taking my little digs here and there, but they can't say that I actually said something. Like, uh, I don't have a passive aggressive bone in my body. I barely have an aggressive bone in my body. So I haven't really achieved that, though I don't think that it's that much of an achievement to learn how to be passive aggressive. But what I have learned is, one, how to recognize when someone's disrespecting me, even if they're disrespecting me in the fancy corporate speak or in the passive aggressive way. I recognize when they're disrespecting me. And two, learning how to move around those people who disrespect me, who don't like me. Um, being more observant of people's body language, even remotely, observing their body language, seeing how they respond to me or how they respond when other people are speaking, um, to understand who's safe, who's not safe. But also, the other part of it is I've met so many more Black women who have been very, very supportive, which is a very restorative thing because, like I said, that the job that I had so much trauma from was a job that was full of Black women. It was run by Black women, and it was awful. It was awful the way those women treated me. But to be meeting so many Black women now who are like, hey, we got to look out for each other. We have to look out for each other. We have to uplift each other. We have to support each other. We have to cheer for each other. I'm cheering for you, Minu, just like you cheer for me. That's a huge, huge thing. And for those of you who follow me who are Black women, you know, like, I appreciate it so much. And I don't know how much more I can show that appreciation other than telling you that I appreciate it. But it's been a very, very restorative thing for me to have such an outpour of support and love and compassion from other Black women. Cause I was scared I wouldn't ever get that. So I really appreciate it. Like I said, those of you who follow me who are Black women, I appreciate the support from you guys. Um, and I appreciate everybody for just listening to me, for sticking through all of this with me, for following my channel, even though I don't post exclusively A's content or exclusively this content or anything like that. I'm just speaking to y'all like I would speak to anybody who I'm catching up with or telling about my week. And I appreciate those of you who stick around to listen to me talk about it. Um, in terms of future content, I cannot make you no promises. I can't make you no promises. Like I said, active in Discord. So if there are people who have ideas or stuff that they think that we should be talking about more, feel free to let us know in the Discord. We can have a Discord discussion about it, or I can make a video on it. But right now, I just want to update you guys on how I was doing, how I was feeling, and what's been going on. I promise you, I don't feel as bad as I look. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. So I say thank you. Like I said, thank you guys. Take care of yourself. Drink your water. Eat food. Take naps. Go vote. It is voting time. I just finished voting. Um, well, I think early voting, by the time this video come out, early voting will be over with. But I think November 8th is the actual voting day. So you still have a chance to vote if you haven't voted. Um, but yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.